So I have a question. So before you weld, I didn't know that you had to take the paint off.
You don't have to. I weld over paint a lot, especially when it's this crusty, but it's less smelly. You get a better weld, obviously, the cleaner it is. You'll see there's still some gunk on the backside of this, but cleaner the better, for sure. But sometimes I'm just working, I'm just burning the paint, feeling all proud of myself. Down to 16. We have a bigger wire now, so there's a lot more energy being transferred through the arc with a bigger electrode, the bigger wire. So I'm just going to feel it out. With the bigger wire, I keep the speed on the wire feed the same. 230 is what this machine really likes, unless I'm burning super hot. Then I'll crank up the wire speed as well. I'm just going to feel this out on a 16 volt circuit. A little ground over here. I have work gloves on order. Like so many of the things out here, we kind of order everything to get delivered. It's a long ride to town.
What happened to the other ones?
I think Blue got them.
Did he? Because you just had them like the other day.
We had a nice assortment of my shoes, socks, random things, and my gloves strewn about the yard on a regular basis.
Because Blue is obsessed with Ian. So anything that belongs to Ian is Blue's. He thinks it's his. He runs around with it.
Yes.
He doesn't do that with any of my things that I leave out there randomly.
I've also had questions about lapping the sheet metal like you see me do so much. So every time the sheet metal is lapped like this, I do it for that support factor while I'm working. I'll either cut back from behind later and maybe stitch it a little weld from the inside, but you can see how it really helps with a landing port right now. I don't have a bunch of free-floating material. And then I'll discuss later. We'll do it from the backside and just take a look. So this is a good halfway point right here. I'm going to just knock this down a light bit. And again, this isn't a perfect world, so this was never meant to be with that. There's going to be a slight mismatch. You think I'm scared? Nope. I'm scared of no light mismatch. Setting it right here. Keeping this seam in the right spot. And I'm going to raise this up just a smidge. Like that. Just to get a good tack right here. And then I'm going to pull it down into the other joint where the seam is. Yeah, 16 is perfect. So that's grabbing. Now I'm going to try to hammer this down a bit. There it is. Right there. Push it in a little bit. Now we got the start. Cool. See, I'm banging this on it as the form. So I'm going to slice through with the grinder and then level it up. Push this into the other panels. So with just positioning it, it looks like this headlight is kind of looking towards the center, you know, like the eyes should be this way, and it looks like it's kind of like that, kind of like my eyes. We're looking for symmetry here, so I'm going to cut through the truck fender and try to bring this and rotate it into the sheet metal that's blocking it from moving right now. You'll see I'm cutting out the pieces of metal behind as I work. See, now this will just fall through. Yeah. Let's trim that a little bit more, but look how close that is. A little bit more. One more slice. Step into welding mode. I'm gonna find a place that's flush, stick it. And you'll hear how I dot it like that because I'm trying to put a nice big bead because I'm working the metal as I attach it aggressively. So out a little bit right here. That's gonna get locked in right here. There. These first tacks are really just that. They're points of attachment. So I can work the metal where it doesn't match together as well. So I just leave them extra big. Right. Pull this in a little bit to match the contour here. Couple whacks to stretch it. Another thing I'll use to line up sheet metal is just an old Sawzall blade. I used a razor blade on another project, so you can just hook that in there like so. Level them right up. When we were doing the train, I worked through when I blew a hole through the material. If you're holding your welder straight like this and you try to weld that, it's just going to make the hole bigger. Did you notice how I shot it like that? Shooting the wire into the thicker part of the metal instead of going straight through, I'm shooting it that way. And just look, it lapped it, bridged it just perfect. Come over here and line this up. Same thing. Using the welder across the weld gap because it's pretty wide. I did over compensate a bit, but we can work with it. Gonna join it. Do a little pummeling right here to get these two. That laid right together. Feels good. See if I have a clamp big enough to reach that. Want me to spin this a little? Will that help?
Wow.
I wasn't sure what we're exactly going to get into with this, but that angle help. I'm going
Yeah.
to try to get a long clamp and rip that together. Well, as it turns out, I don't have a clamp that deep. So, I'm going to do it the simple way, as if I didn't have clamps. Just going to hit this right here. So what I'm going to do now is, as I weld it, I'm just going to shut it right down together. I got this matching, so I'm going to hit it. And I'm going to move up. Get some structure where it's all meeting nice. Now that this is secure, I'm going to go in here. Set that in. Just finding a happy medium between the two contours. I'm not sure if the mic picks up the different tone quality of the different size wire. This just has like a little more bass to it. It's more like a than a snap. Because it's a heavier wire. Cool. So, with all that joining and configuring, see this weld broke? So that's no thing. I'm just going to get back on that, set it up. I think I can put a big clamp right there and grip that headlight bucket.
You look like a dentist. The mad scientist.
I saddle up on this pony, pull it in. Make this a little bit tighter. There we go. See that? Now we're working. I'm going to reattach this weld and move forward. I'm going to try to shrink this truck fender a little bit. Get it to match up. See how it just came down? I'm using the edge of the hammer right here. That's touching right there. I'm going to trim it back just a little bit. See, this is the razor blade I mentioned. Fits in a tighter gap. Just putting tacks wherever it matches. Get a little better grab. This is pretty far away right here, so I'll try to remedy that. Try a little therapy with this. Just get it to flex out a little bit. closer. All right, so I think I'm going to start right in the middle. Join, and work out the two sides of each of the end parts of this corner. Now that I got this joined, I'm going to put the dolly behind it and massage it just a bit more. Again, using the outside radius on the dolly, I'm going to try to shrink these together. Hammering on the tack weld, because that's where the control is. Right? Come on.
Wow. I didn't know you hammered on the tack weld once you were done with that. That's neat. Theory.
So we got a little bit of a miscalculation on that part, but that won't be a problem for me to finish. I'm gonna grab where I can in here. I'm gonna let those two lap, because on the inside of that radius, there's going to be filler. Dirt just came out of that.
Playa dust.
It's dusty.
That's from the playa, though. Looks like it.
Yep. Welcome to the desert. It's a dust bowl up in here. Put some oil on this pup. Oil. We're out. What kind of shop is this?
I'm going to get a sip of my smoothie.
I'm going to grab deep with this clamp. Get those into a line. Tack it up. Raise it up. Raise it up. There's a lot of lead right here, so I'm going to stay off of that for the time being. It's just going to be stankin'. Here's going to be an interesting part because the gap is so big. I'm going to try to close that. Watch how I shrink the metal. I'm going to weld here, and we know the bigger the weld, the more shrink you have. So I'm going to use that to my advantage. Big weld, hammer it down. Then I'm going to start to follow it. Let it cool. I'm going to do a solid bead right through here. Then hammer it. Look, it's closing the gap. Staying on the thick part of the weld, every tack, it's going to get increasingly hot. As soon as it's very red, hit it. Look, it's shrinking the gap. Carry on. Grab as much as you can while it's still in shape, keeping it hot without falling through. You cannot do this on a flat sheet of metal. It's going to just get crazy on you. This is because it's a compound convex curve. That's the only reason I'm able to do this. It was like this. It was actually like this, and I went boom, and then as I welded it, took it in. I'm going to use this blade to get the levels up and sink it. Go where it lines up, hit it. If at any point you feel like it's just getting too hot, back off, just get out of there, go work somewhere else. Let it cool down. Look at this wrinkle right here, that's pretty complicated. You can see it best from this angle.
Let me come around. Where is it? Ah.
So how I'm going to handle that, so I'm going to grab it where it's good. It looks nice right there. So I'm going to put a clamp there and secure that and go back into the other welds. That makes sense. A nice bit of structure through here. That's the lead here. Can't weld there. That's steel. All right. I'm going to put the dolly behind and support. Knock that into shape. Like about that. Yeah, that feels good. I reach through, give this a little action right here. It's got a face. Finish off the bottom of that with the clamp. Sawzall. You see how I'm picking away with these larger gaps in the sheet metal? Just let it heat up and then find a cool tack and work off of that. spacing out the heat so you don't overload the material with shrinkage. This pretty big gap right here. A little bit of a oops, but I can recover. You know, I'm working fast. Saw literally almost no edit. How quick this is coming together. That's the way it goes sometimes. You gotta build it back. Make a miscalculation. So see, there's that gap filled. No real shrinkage. It'll grind right off. I'll just continue. I'm going to let that cool off. But I'm excited. I want to see what this looks like with this first eyeball in place. I really can't help it. I just got to see this. And this is going to help the illusion.
Wow, that looks so good.
Right?
Oh, I love it. Yes. It has more of a flair, like that French, like you said, like the mole.
It's got a little bit of a fancier face.
Yeah.
Stick this bulb and ring on, just take a look. Oh yeah, come on.
Dope.
Way better.
Way better.
That's got some character now.
It looks really good. Like, wow.
Yeah. I like how it gave it a little bit more of a brow too. It looks even like droopier. It comes down. Pretty cool. It'll have a little body work, a little filler. It is what it is. I'm not I'm not into just like making that absolute perfect metal join. It's strong, it's contoured right. I'm happy with it.
I am too.
I guess we'll do one more episode tomorrow or the next day. We'll get that other light in there, and I got a couple other things to talk about. But yeah, this is the facial reconstruction of the little jewel. It's got one eye. Please like, subscribe, comment. Thank you, and good night.
Awesome.